Sexier chest, stronger benches, less shoulder injuries, and the biggest tip I can give anybody in the gym, that's coming up. Well, hello everybody, Succeed with Omid back with another video and a big giant tip for getting some more success in the gym, especially without injury. And really quick before I get into the bench press, the exercise I'm going to use for the example today, I want to talk about babies. When we're all little tiny ones and we're first starting to learn how to walk, it's not that the muscles themselves actually need to develop into big, strong, meaty pieces of movement. It's the stabilizer system that actually gives us confidence to start walking and running into stuff when we do it. Think about it. When you ever see a kid first starting to learn how to walk, they can't actually stand up on their own. They have to grab onto something. And that sends a signal through their arm to the shoulder to stabilize and get strong. That stabilization allows them to pull themselves up into their hips and they can stand. And then they start doing that baby shake kind of thing and then they usually fall. But most kids, once they start getting those first couple steps, the muscles haven't really gotten that much bigger. It's the stabilizers that have gotten faster. And pretty soon you can see this. Their stabilizers have gotten them so much confidence they start running around and they start hitting stuff and they start falling. But it's the coolest thing in the world because that stability gives us confidence. Back to the tip for the gym. The biggest mistake anyone can make in the gym is to not realize that the stabilizers, the nervous system, the ligaments, the tendons, the smaller muscles, those all take about 210 days to fully turn around the cells. The big muscles, the primary movers, the chest in our bench press example, only takes 90 days to fully turn around the cells, to repair everything and get bigger. So if we're constantly getting the chest huge, but the stabilizer system is still weak in its infancy stage, if it's still trying to learn how to walk while you're trying to run around, that leads to instability, it leads to injury, it leads to a lack of confidence on your bench press. I'm going to show you a couple good examples on one, how to know when this is actually happening to you, and two, how to fix it. All right, be right back. So here I have my home approximation of what the barbell bench press looks like, and I don't actually have a bar. Real quick tip, don't actually have the thumb be the primary supporter. You don't necessarily want the wrist flat. You don't want it bent really far back either, but you just want the barbell to be right over the forearm. But as I come down and I push up, squeezing through the chest is going to do a lot of strength type move, trying to push against the barbell. But here's the problem. There's no left to right instability. Both chests actually have a really good control over this barbell. Up and down is really not that big a deal because I've got my head here holding, my hips here holding. I don't really have to do anything. And the spine especially is supported by a really heavy, hard bench. So there's really not much work that actually has to happen here. I just have to load the weight like crazy to get the chest to work. But that actually is a problem for me because if my stabilizer system is not working here at all, I'm going to hit a plateau really fast, relatively speaking. And all of a sudden I'll be at 225 and can't go higher for some reason. Here's the trick, right? Get rid of the barbell and get to some dumbbells. Because at the very least, now I've got left to right instability. My shoulders actually have to control rotation of the weight. And there's a continuous rotational control that has to happen through the entire range of motion. Because if you know, as I'm coming down, that's internal rotation, external rotation on the way up. So my rotators and my stabilizers are going to have a real fun time with this. You'll also find out if your forearm was doing too much work, because if your forearm starts to get on a fire here, you know your grip is weak and the barbell was actually doing a lot of work for you. And if your forearm is weak and the barbell's doing work for you, you're actually going to start setting up elbow tendonitis and lots of wrist compression that you don't want. But this is actually going to get a lot more pump into the chest than anything else because all those stabilizers are working. Okay, I'll do one more, show some of this shaking out. This is only 25 pounds. Like, obviously I'm tiny, but this is pretty heavy for me. Now, I'm going to show you one more trick to really get the maximum work for your stabilizer system. This would be an accessory move to your bench press days. To fully train the stabilization system, the Swiss ball or the stability ball is one of the best possible ways to do it. Big honkin' disclaimer though. This ball that I have here is 2,000 pound tested. Do not do this with something that's weak or shows any signs of tears or anything like that. You never want to have weights in your hand on top of a ball. If that thing bursts, your face is gone, okay? But, disclaimer out of the way. Grab your weights. Roll out into the position that you want to be in, where the ball is actually going to be at the middle of your shoulders, okay? Right at the top of the shoulder blades, and the head's just going to rest. But now what I have to do, I have to plant my feet, I have to get my hips engaged, my core completely engaged, and now my entire stabilizer system, my nervous system, has to work to control the spine and the weights. This is no longer really for the chest. I want to be clear about that. This is for every ounce of stability that I have as I'm coming through this motion. My abs are on fire, my ass is on fire, my triceps are working overtime to stabilize the elbow. My grip is working like crazy to hold on to the weights. And if you want to go real crazy with this, go one arm at a time, get the obliques going, glute medius going. Two ways to get out of this. You can either walk up the ball or sit your butt down, depending on how heavy the weight is. Last piece of information on this, guys. If you want to use this effectively, you can do this either at 10% of your working reps. So if you're doing 100 pounds, to keep the math simple, 10-pound dumbbells on a Swiss ball. And just going alternating arms in this, it's going to feel silly light, but what you're doing is you're warming up your nervous system. You're getting that sympathetic nervous system activated so you can actually activate it on the bench. Then the bench is just going to help you, not hinder you, okay? If you also want to do this for some recovery, if you're on some lighter weeks, you can do your bench press like normal, your 50%, and then you can do a couple sets of these afterwards to really get into those deep type 2 type fibers that are really fast twitch and very reactive to things. And you'll at least give your nervous system a chance to keep up with the big, strong, sexy chest, all right? Avoid injuries at all costs. This is one of the best things I know how to do, is to keep that nervous system active and engaged and stable to give you all that confidence in the world to move your big heavy weights and go run on the beach without looking like this, all right? I hope this information was very helpful to you guys. As always, have a happy and healthy rest of your day. Look forward to giving you guys some more tips later, and I'll talk to you later.